the Sultan of Safeties, the all-pro defensive end, the acting legend, Mr. Fred Dreyer.
Oh, man.
You like the way I get right into it, just ease into the chair?
I'm
Everything goes right off the shoulders and out the window.
No, Courtney Cadera, our producer, does a great job putting all of our notes together for us.
She's great.
My favorite note. What
is the one that says,
have a seat.
Do you want...
am I in your way? Have a seat.
Have a seat. Just come on, sit down and relax.
You're in my light now.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, what is the...
Warren Sapp arrested on suspicion of soliciting prostitutes.
Oh, yeah, this is... what is with this? I think he got fired from the NFL Network or something, didn't he? I mean, this guy is in trouble.
What are you doing?
He's adjusting the camera. It's a broadcast.
Is this the time to do that?
Yeah.
I guess it is. It is.
Once the show starts, that's when you should
exactly
adjust the camera.
Exactly what you want to do right now.
Should do that, yeah. Anyway, so Warren's
Sapp,
arrested. Yeah,
he's arrested. He's making $500,000 a year working for the NFL channel.
It's $500,000. That's a pretty good payday.
That's $500,000.
That's a good payday.
San Diego State math.
Yeah,
and so he decides to punch out these prostitutes over a discrepancy in the amount of money that's owed these two whores.
So Warren Sapp loses his job. Is it really worth it? I mean, come on.
Fired immediately.
He's a Hall of Famer, a Pro Football Hall of Famer.
Oh man.
Yeah, really, I'm telling you.
And there's a Packers defensive tackle arrested for marijuana possession. Cowboy running back Randall arrested on suspicion of marijuana possession. DeQuell Jackson accused of assault. Johnny Manziel checks into rehab. More NFL success stories.
There's more success stories, I'm telling you.
Johnny Manziel, how dare this little weasel, this brat, how dare this guy show up, take money, be the face of that franchise that invested in him, and now turns around and says, I was on dope the whole time.
So let me ask you a question, because early on here when they had Ray Rice problems there with Baltimore and all that, and it seemed like there were public service announcements going for the NFL, and we all said Roger Goodell is doing this, and it makes it look like everybody in the NFL has got a problem. It's looking like everybody in the NFL has a problem these days. What's going on?
The whole league is dependent.
What is going on here?
No, the whole league is dependent. There's no standards in the league.
No.
Ownership, there's 32 owners who are brain dead. They've hired the wrong guy as a commissioner.
Exactly.
He's brain dead.
Yep.
They don't have anything in place to prepare themselves to interface with the good tax-paying citizen, the football fan, when a player does something stupid like they do. Exactly. All the time they're doing this stuff. And criminal behavior, by the way. I know this is petty. Marijuana is petty. It's stupid, but it's irresponsible, and it's below the responsibility that they should have, they should accept, coming out of college, making millions of dollars, working for corporations. You represent the Cowboys. You represent the Packers, the Cleveland Browns.
Exactly.
What are you doing taking your pants down in the middle of the street drunk on dope? And the league is not prepared for it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They're not prepared for it. It is a huge league problem right now, and this is a great brand name. The NFL name can sell a lot of stuff, and they're destroying it. They are destroying this entire bill of the league and the brand name.
The thug street criminal culture has taken over pro football.
The thug culture has taken it over. You're absolutely right.
It's clearly a fact that the National Football League is brain dead when it comes to handling these guys. They have no idea what to do because there's no standards. If you have no standards, like the federal government, you can go ahead and burn people up and kill people and behead people. If you have no standards, you're finished, folks.
We're in session with Fred Dreyer. It's the PM show on Sports Weekend Edition. CRN travelers, relax at the beautiful Fountain Grove Inn and Conference Center in Santa Rosa, California. Come to quality and come to luxury. Experience the newly renovated guest rooms. They're generously sized and they're decorated in the Tuscan tradition. They have great, incredible pillow-top mattresses, luxurious linens, and down-filled comforters. The Fountain Grove Inn also offers complimentary Wi-Fi and internet access. There's warm cookies and coffee every evening in the hotel lobby, and you can visit the newly remodeled Equus Restaurant and Equus Lounge with its new wine bar. It's the ideal place to relax and enjoy a glass of wine and watch our What's Cooking on Wine show on CRN with host Larry Van Alst on Wednesdays. It's the Fountain Grove Inn, Hotel, and Conference Center located in the heart of Sonoma wine country. It's easily located in Santa Rosa off the 101 Fountain Grove Parkway exit. Call 707-578-6101. That's 707-578-6101 or visit fountaingrovinn.com. PM Show Weekend Edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. It's PM Show on Sports. I'm Michael Horn, the star of our show. The Sultan of Safeties, 2 safeties in one game, the All-Pro defensive end, the acting legend. We're talking like Hunter, we're talking movies, we're talking about Crisis, the one and only Mr. Fred Dryer.
You know, folks, I was tweeting the entire Super Bowl.
Boy, you've really gotten into this whole Twitter account.
Yeah, I've been tweeting and it's got me. And it's fun to throw stuff out there and get stuff back to see who's listening and, to see who follows you and all that. And that's all really fine and dandy. But what's really amazing is that I've been getting more tweets on this decision by Pete Carroll.
Oh, yeah.
Than anything that I've ever gotten before.
We haven't talked about this. Well, we talked about this with you on our Monday show, but on your show we haven't talked about it. And you at the beginning of the Super Bowl, so we can recap a little bit. Let me set this up for the audience in case you missed last week's show. But the legendary Fred Dryer said, hey, going to be a really close, tight Super Bowl. It's going to be a good game. That indeed it was. And you said the key to the game is going to be maybe interceptions, but that Seattle is going to have to run the football. And that's a key element that they have in their arsenal that they have to use. They got a quarterback that can scramble. They got Marshawn Lynch. My gosh, that guy takes off. It takes you 5 yards to think about stopping him before you stop him. So this all goes on. What happens on the last play of the game? They don't run the damn football. And the game is over on a pass. Fred Dryer, your thoughts here?
Well, look, I've said this all my entire career. I've seen it my entire career. Offensive coordinators. Let's start with them. Offensive coordinators, people who are in charge of masterminding offenses in the National Football League.
They sit up in the press box usually, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Most of them do. I mean, sometimes you might see a guy down the sideline, but those days are gone. But they sit up there. They're inside that glass box. And they take a look at their call sheet, and they take a look at the hot sheet that the coach, you see the coaches, head coaches, have a hot sheet with them. It's laminated on the sideline. And it's red and blue and black lettering.
Okay.
Red for offense, blue, black for defense, or something like that. And they take a look at that. And what's going through their head is, are we balanced as an offense?
What do you mean by that?
Do we run and pass?
Got it.
In a balanced way?
So there's a way to balance it so people are, you balance out your attack.
But the obsession with that means nothing because it only lives in a game to game basis. I don't care if Brady threw 50 times, completed 37 of them.
37 out of 50.
All right? He didn't worry about being balanced. He didn't run 50 times.
Correct.
Okay. So some people take that to heart. And so I can only imagine, in Pete Carroll's case, that the offensive coordinator up there took a look at his sheet and said, they're probably expecting us to run. We've been running.
Yeah.
And they got their defensive people in there. You know what? I think we can waste a play. That's what he used. That's the word he used.
Pete Carroll used that term.
Yeah, used waste a play and maybe try and get it in there on a pass. Okay.
Not thinking about interception, they thought, we'll just get it in there on a pass.
Yeah, so here's what they did. They tempted the gods. They placed him down there through a series of great athletic maneuvers.
Unbelievable. That catch there. They got him down there into the red zone.
So
unbelievable.
They got him down there, and the good football gods put him on the 1 or 2 yard line and said, here you go. You're going to win it. And so they said, yeah, we're going to win it. But before we win it, let's see if we can defy the gods, and let's see if we can stick it in there.
With a pass.
We're going to pass it in there when everybody's expecting us, including the New England Patriots and Belichick and everybody else. The world is expecting us to give it to the big guy and run it in there, and we're going to win 31-28. And but we're going to decide to, before we do that, we're going to tempt the gods, and we're going to throw it in there.
Pete Carroll has that kind of an ego where he'll do something different. It worked in the first end of the first half. He's passed in to get a touchdown, and he changes plays around. He does that
and fake field goals and all that stuff.
Exactly.
And it's all wonderful.
Yeah.
It's great
when it works.
He keeps you on your toes.
And when it works, it's
now
great.
You have to know this is the time to end the game. Don't dally. Don't be disrespectful.
Right.
Understand what got you down here, a series of great plays, and give the ball to the big guy.
The strength.
And get off the field.
Yeah.
Right? Drink the Kool-Aid and
right.
get off the field.
I'm with you, Fred Dreyer.
So what he does is he listens to his offensive coordinator who says, now you have to understand this. Your state of mind, not to say, okay, we got second down, we're on the 2, coach. Or the 1.5. Give it to Marshawn, line him up, put 2 tight ends in, and let's go. All right? You got 3 shots at it with 1 timeout.
Yep.
Okay? So you here's what you do. Their thinking is, we got 1 timeout. How can we get more timeouts? You get more timeouts by throwing it. Because if you throw it and you complete it, it's a touchdown and a win. If you don't, it stops the clock.
Right.
So they're thinking that way.
They're going to stop the clock.
Which, in the big universe, okay, that's
interesting.
That's interesting. But not now.
But they didn't think about the interception. I don't think that it crossed their mind.
They don't ever think about that.
Yeah.
But the point is, if you're going to throw that ball, you got to roll that court. I said this. This is the reason I made the statement.
So you tweeted this.
Yes. You have to roll him out.
What do you mean? Pull him out.
Pull him out from behind the center and let him sprint out to the right.
Right.
That's a rollout.
Yeah.
A waggle is when you go to the opposite way to the weak side usually.
Okay.
Almost.
So you want to roll him out so he's got a little space.
He rolls out and you put receivers into the end zone and make people go man.
Man to man.
Can't go zone down there.
Yeah, you got to go man.
You got to go man down there, and then you roll them out and you put all of the pressure on the secondary to either hang with your man or come up because he's going to run it. Yeah. You're a yard out.
Right.
You mean to tell me you're not going to score?
Exactly.
So you got and if he realizes he's not going to make it, are you going to take a loss? Dump the ball.
Right.
Stop the clock.
Yeah.
But there's ways of doing that to satiate your feeling that you have to take a shot at the end zone. But in the meantime, you got Marshawn Lynch down there who honestly does weigh 300 pounds. You just give him the ball and get out of the way and go home. And they didn't do that. And that is a tremendous lesson. And it's also we'll talk about the next segment.
Next segment. I got a question for you.
But let me just finish this out. So what you wind up getting is you have a team now that is expecting to win, doesn't win, and how they didn't win is the conversation.
It's
and
demoralizing.
That conversation is going to hang around
for a while, right?
For a long time.
I'm telling you, 1 yard line, 3 plays to score that ball and just pop it in. The game appears to be over, devastating to New England. Instead, it's a huge New England win, and it's devastating to Seattle. All right, we continue here. It's the PM Show Weekend Edition on Sports. That's the one and only Fred Dreyer.
Homeowners, now is the season to be thinking about your roof, because all it takes is one storm to turn a small roof problem into a major leak. If it's time for a new roof, call Sears at 888-465-9720. You can save $500 if you call right now. Sears licensed, fully insured contractors can get your roofing job done right. Just call 888-465-9720. Sears has a variety of shingles and styles that are built for long-lasting performance, and you'll save $500 if you call now. So call Sears for a free and in-home consultation at 888-465-9720. Hurry, offer ends soon. Not available in all areas. Installation provided by Sears Authorized Licensed Contractors. License information available upon request. That's Sears Roofing. Call right now and save $500. Call 888-465-9720. 888-465-9720. Call Sears now and get that roof repaired. Call 888-465-9720.
Warning signs of a stroke can be summed up using the acronym FAST, FAST.
Face weakness, arm weakness, speech difficulties, then it's time to call 911 and get to the hospital right away.
Dr. Jeffrey Saver, director of the Comprehensive Stroke Center at UCLA.
The most common type is when a blood vessel is blocked. That's an ischemic stroke. And the area of the brain that doesn't get blood flow and oxygen dies within tens of minutes to a few hours of the onset.
Time is critical. Doctors can give you a clot-dissolving drug, but it has to be given soon.
Tissue plasminogen activator, TPA, which is used up to 3 or 4.5 hours after stroke.
If you miss that window, you just get aspirin. This treatment is not appropriate for all strokes, but for ischemic strokes and also for the most dangerous when the clot is blocking a large artery at the base of the brain, it's just the first step. That's Primetime Focus brought to you by AARP. I'm Aileen Ellis.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or owe the IRS or state more than $10,000? If you don't take action now, your tax problem is going to get worse. Much worse. Seizure of property, bank levies, wage garnishments, and potential criminal prosecution. And if you owe the IRS back payroll taxes, chances are you will be visited at your home or business by an IRS agent. Don't become paralyzed by fear. Take action now. Call the experts at U.S. Tax Shield for help. Our team of experienced tax attorneys can get you protected. Stop collections and negotiate a permanent settlement with the IRS and state, potentially saving you thousands of dollars. At U.S. Tax Shield, our tax advisors will review your case for free, inform you of your rights, and give you a guaranteed quote. No games and no tricky upsells. That's why we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Put an end to your torment. Get protected. Get the Shield. Call U.S. Tax Shield now at 800-211-8753. That's 800-211-8753. 800-211-8753.
It's the PM Show, weekend edition on sports on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn. The star of our show is the Sultan of Safeties. We mentioned that. 2 safeties in one game, a record that will stand for quite some time. The man who is the all-pro defensive end. He was played for the Rams, signed by the New York Giants. And, of course, the acting legend. You saw Hunter for all those years. He's been tweeting lately. Stephanie Kramer's co-star connected with him immediately on Twitter. I hope all of you have done that. Follow Fred Dreyer. Fred_Dreyer. That's D-R-Y-E-R. Fred is F-R-E-D. Fred_Dreyer. Follow this man. He was tweeting during the Super Bowl. All right, we're in there. We're on the 1-yard line. We're talking Super Bowl 49 last Sunday. We're sitting there. We're watching this game. It looks like New England is going to win this ball game. And all of a sudden, Seattle gets the ball with 2 minutes or less to play, and they get a miraculous catch, and they're down on the red zone. They're there on the 1-yard line. They got 3 plays to get this ball into the end zone. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th down. On the 2nd down, they pass. And unbelievably, an interception happens. That's kind of where we left it here. My question to you is...
Well, that's pretty much it.
My question to you is this. You mentioned that they wanted to look on their charts and everything, and they were going to do a surprise by, doing this pass and everything. They did not have Marshawn Lynch on the field. He's on the bench. Doesn't that tip the hand a little bit to Belichick?
I think he was off to the side. He wasn't behind the quarterback. He was off.
Belichick, doesn't that make him say, wait a second, I heard they were practicing a play for an interception? Because here's a stat, and this stat was repeated over and over. New England had the 2nd worst record in holding the offense when they're within the 5-yard line at the goal this season. 2nd worst. Seattle had the 2nd best offense on scoring when that happened. So the numbers were for Seattle to win this game.
Look,
and this interception comes in.
You don't need anything to help you rationalize or or perpetuate or push or carry this conversation further. This was a blown call by Pete Carroll. He admits it. He apologizes. He's got a lot of work to do to get the faith back up there with the team. And
how much do you have to get the faith back? What do you mean? This is a big deal? Yeah, tell me. You're in the game. What does he mean?
Well, I mean, you can't not use your personnel. You can't go to the Super Bowl 9 months and go through everything that it takes to get there,
right,
and get on the 1 yard line and literally have everybody say, all you got to do is do that and you're the champs 2 times in a row and you're going to win the game. And you say, yeah, I know that, but I think I'm going to do that first. Then I'll go win the game. You can't be that arrogant. You can't live that type of an arrogant existence. And how that exists, how that is allowed, how that you don't know as a coach that you don't live in a bubble with your offensive coordinator. You've got an entire team and an organization and a fan base and a betting line behind you that's counting on you.
Depending on
you to make the decision, not to allow some guy to say, hey, how about let's try that. You can't be that cavalier, capricious, and arbitrary, and you can't be that, I always say it's arrogance, because that's what it is.
And the great actor William Shatner said the same thing. Ego. It's arrogance. It's ego. Yeah. It's like, and they have a great team and they should be proud of their team, and both teams were fabulous. But I'm telling you, this was a demoralizing loss for him. And you're right. I see where he has to earn it back when you use the term arrogance.
You've got to come back and say, look, I'll eat this. I got to screw it up, but we're going to come back again and do it. But you know how long it is now to ask people, hey, I made a mistake. I had a gift horse in the mouth. And I looked it right in the mouth, and I didn't do what I should have done, and that was to grab it when it was offered to me, and I didn't do it. And not only did I fail, it cost you a ring. These coaches will be around for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Players are only on that team. This team's going to turn over. There's guys that'll never get another shot. It may not be in football next year. They're going to get another shot at winning a ring. It's not guaranteed, pal. Believe me, it's not guaranteed.
They won before, but last week we were talking about this, and I want you to express this to our fans and our audience here. You were in, what Super Bowl was it? Super Bowl
14.
Super Bowl 14 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes. You were on the Rams.
Yes.
You lost that game. And when you were walking off the field, what did you say it was like as a part of the losing team when you're walking off the field?
Nobody looks at you. They look right past you.
They ignore you.
You're out of the conversation. You are like toilet paper. They don't need you anymore. You provided some entertainment, but the real team that we always loved was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Get off the field. We don't want to look at you. We want to celebrate, and we want to hold the Steelers to the sky. And that's what it is. No one talks about you when you lose. They're going to be talking about the Seahawks. They're going to be talking about their idiot coach who decided to play with a sure thing. That's what they decided to do. Now look, when we come back, we want to get into a drag racing because drag racing opens this weekend, and we got a good friend Tom McCune with us, so don't go away.
PM Show Weekend Edition with Fred Dreyer.
You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com, 310-873-4422.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Come to Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante in Fullerton, California for our sizzling party savings. Book your wedding event or reception, your birthday bash, or a special event of any kind and celebrate at Angelo's and Vinci's. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's and celebrate in one of our many festive banquet rooms. It's an incredible fun event you will never forget. Food, music, and lots of fun. Call for the details, and don't forget our daily lunch and dinners, plus our Sunday champagne brunch. Just $14.95. Minestrone soup, sausage and peppers, pastas, chicken dishes, salads, scones, and muffins. Plus so much more, a chocolate fondue fountain, Zeppelis, cannolis, fresh fruit, champagne, and Junior will be waiting to make the omelet of your choice from our omelet bar. Angelo's and Vinci's has been voted on the Orange County Hot List as one of the top 5 Italian restaurants for the past 6 years. And don't forget our award-winning pizzas. Thin or thick, they're yummy. It's all at Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022, 714-879-4022.
Dreaming about a home makeover? It's easy to transform your home with deals on hardwood floors from Lumber Liquidators. Don't spend $5.99 a square foot this week at 3/4-inch solid Brazilian Koa for an unheard of $2.99. Or go from dingy carpet to stylish hardwood in a weekend with easy-to-install 5-inch click hardwood. This week, it's only $2.19. Plus, deals on bamboo, laminate, and more from 49 cents. And get special financing. Get started on your dream home today. Visit LumberLiquidators.com to find a store near you.
Are you ready for this? The showroom at South Point presents one electrifying show. A tribute to one of the greatest American rock bands of all time. Begins a Chicago tribute. February 6th to the 8th. Tickets at the box office, online at SouthPointCasino.com or charged by phone. 702-797-8055. Beginning a Chicago tribute at the South Point.
PM Show Weekend Edition. It's CRN Digital Talk Radio. This is the PM Show on sports. I'm Michael Horn. Fred Dreyer is here, the great acting legend, the sports, I'm telling you, all-pro defensive end. What a great career he had. Started out in baseball, and of course then that super career in football with the Rams and being signed by the New York Giants. Once again, here is Fred Dreyer.
Tom McEwen has been a great drag racing icon for 45 years. He had a 45-year career. An American drag racer. He won the NHRA U.S. Nationals during part of his 45-year career. He is listed as number 16 of the 50 most significant drivers in NHRA first 50 years. Tom lives in Fountain Valley. He's a very good friend of ours. He's currently works as in ad sales for Drag Racer magazine. Tom's going to come in here and talk to us about the opening of the drag season this weekend. Tom, welcome aboard.
Hello, Hunter. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, pal. Drag racing is here again. It's to me, it seems like it just ended like last week. I don't know what the hell's going on. But
yeah, what's going on?
John Force was the big news. What's going on with John Force?
Well, as you know, he was with Ford for like 20-some years, and they decided that he'd been with them long enough, so last year they told him that this year he wouldn't be with them anymore, and Chevrolet jumped in and signed him, and he started with Chevrolet way 25 years ago and won a bunch of races, and Ford bought him off, and then Chevy just got him back, so him and his team are going to be at the Winter Nationals this coming weekend. with a new all new Camaros.
Well, that's this weekend, Thursday through Sunday, the 5th through the 8th of February. You'll be out there all 4 days or just one day?
No, I'll be there. We're going to do a memorial thing Thursday night at the track for Dale Armstrong, a good buddy of ours that passed away.
Oh, really? I knew Dale Armstrong. I
know you did, yeah. He worked for Bernstein. He was the first guy to run 300 miles an hour, remember?
Wow. What happened? Do we...
Oh, he had some kind of a lung thing
sickness
from soldering all those years or something.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Well, let me ask you, what do you have to do with drag racing other than being in Drag Racer magazine? What is your interest now in the sport? Are you somehow attached to any of the teams out there?
Well, no, I just have a lot of friends out there. A lot of them worked for me, for years.
Sure.
Tom Prock, who was a crew chief on my car for years, and his son Jimmy Prock worked with me for years. Now Jimmy was the hot crew chief on Force's car last year. Now he switched over to the Schumacher camp. So a lot of the guys around the different crews are friends or worked for me before. So I stay in touch with everybody, and then I do talking. Prudhomme and I went this last year. We did some appearances. We went to the big SEMA PRI show in Indianapolis at the breakfast thing in the morning for 1,800 people, and I get involved in a lot of different stuff, and then I am the executive director, marketing guy for Drag Racer magazine for Beckett Publishing, which we also have Max Drive and Street Trucks and Diesel. We have a bunch of magazines, so I just kind of keep involved with a little, with everybody.
How has, and let me ask you, first of all, does drag racing change that much from year to year?
Well, the biggest thing that I've changed, I've been in since 1953, where John Wayne Airport, Santa Ana was. I started racing out there. My mother's Oldsmobile in 1953. So I've seen it from 70, 80 mile an hour up to 300 mile an hour plus.
Wow.
I've driven a lot of different cars. Biggest thing I've seen come along is the cost, like everything else. The guys got very smart, the crew chief guys, and when they let them get onboard computers, Freddie, on the cars, I mean, they could check everything there was, how the driver's reflexes, the brakes, the aerodynamic, the cylinder pressure, the blower pressure, just everything. So now they're getting smarter, and then, in the old days we used to have like, 1,000 horsepower fuel cars, and now they got 10,000. And
is that a legitimate number, 10,000?
Yes, I really think it is. If you could find a dyno that would actually hold them for like 4 or 5 seconds, I think you do, because what it is they're a 500-inch Hemi engine, which is a copy of the original Chrysler motor, but it's all made out of special aluminum, titanium trick parts now because of the power.
Right.
And how they get that horsepower is over the years, as they raised the fuel pump pressure going into the engine, they had to fire the fuel because you drop cylinders, the compression, and all that. So now they've gone to 16 spark plugs and 2 44-amp magnetos, which electrocute you.
It's like a bomb. It's a bomb.
That's unbelievable.
These guys are driving
You got to be
bombs.
kidding me.
Every cylinder, let me tell you, one of those cylinders, just stop and think now, a NASCAR, I think, has 600 or 700 horsepower, a NASCAR motor.
Right.
Figure out if they had 8,000 or 10,000 horsepower times 8, a half of a cylinder is more horsepower than a NASCAR makes.
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
How they
you
make
want
the power.
you want one of those cars, don't you?
I want one of those because I've been a little slow getting off from the stoplight. I think this would help me get a jump on Tomas in his car. Yeah, we put one in Tomas's car. That'd make that thing move.
We used to run years ago. We would run fuel pumps that would pump, a couple of gallons a minute type fuel pumps with nozzles and 8 spark plugs and all that. They're running 120 gallon a minute fuel pumps. Just figure this, Freddie. In 1 minute, the fuel that's going into those motors, they could fill 2 55-gallon drums in 1 minute, and then there's so much fuel going through that blower into that engine. Then they have to light the fuel with those tremendous spark plug, 2 spark plugs per cylinder with those magnetos. That's how they make that tremendous power out of 500 cubic inches.
But the biggest technology boon is in tires and rubber, isn't it?
Well, you know, here's the thing: if you don't have traction, it don't matter how much horsepower you got.
There you go.
They got more power than they can need. They could actually, if they wanted to, they would burn the tires right off the car, and the car wouldn't move.
There you go.
The clutches that are in these cars. You know, years ago when we first started, we had a spring clutch like you guys had in the stick shift car with a single disc.
Yeah.
Now they're running 6-disc centrifugal force clutches in those cars, and the clutches have to slip for the first second and a half of a 4-second run. Those clutches have to slip. Let that tremendous
This is very
power.
Complicated.
This is, I got traction because I use big shoes to get away from the table.
Hey, Tom, can you hold on just a second? We'll be right back with
this
you.
is great. Tom McCune is our guest here. We're talking about drag racing opening this weekend. It's the PM Show Weekend Edition on Sports with Fred Dreyer.
Geico RV presents Reflections from the Road.
I love the great outdoors and saving money. So I made the easy switch to Geico RV insurance, which was a whole lot easier than eating my wife's cooking for a week.
Rob, I can hear you.
Sometimes I think she can read my thoughts.
Yeah, you were thinking about Geico RV insurance.
Man, she's good.
Well, you are saying everything out loud.
I meant to do an internal monologue.
Geico, for your RV, trailer, or camper. See how much you could save.
Get to Lumber Liquidator's Spring Flooring Kickoff Sale and save on all the latest hardwood flooring trends. Get the hot new look of gray flooring plus 80 more styles of laminate from 49 cents. Check out gorgeous matte finished hardwood from Bellawood or choose from more than 200 styles of pre-finished hardwood from $169. Plus deals on distressed floors and over 70 styles of bamboo from $179. And get 18-month special financing for deals on over 400 floors. Get to the Spring Flooring Kickoff Sale. Visit lumberliquidators.com to find a store near you.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or owe the IRS or state more than $10,000? If you don't take action now, your tax problem is going to get worse. Much worse. Seizure of property, bank levies, wage garnishments, and potential criminal prosecution. And if you owe the IRS back payroll taxes, chances are you will be visited at your home or business by an IRS agent. Don't become paralyzed by fear. Take action now. Call the experts at U.S. Tax Shield for help. Our team of experienced tax attorneys can get you protected, stop collections, and negotiate a permanent settlement with the IRS and state, potentially saving you thousands of dollars. At U.S. Tax Shield, our tax advisors will review your case for free, inform you of your rights, and give you a guaranteed quote. No games and no tricky upsells. That's why we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Put an end to your torment. Get protected. Get the Shield. Call U.S. Tax Shield now at 800-211-8753. That's 800-211-8753. 800-211-8753.
Welcome back to the PM Show Weekend Edition on Sports here from CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn with our buddy, the acting superstar, the sports legend, Mr. Fred Dreyer, and our guest got Tom McCune here. He's talking about drag racing. It's opening up this weekend. Tom, I got a question for you because you mentioned those fuel pumps you got can fill like a barrel of gasoline. How much is it pumping out there?
50-gallon drum.
Well, it would pump 2 55-gallon drums full in a minute.
So let me ask you this, because I got an old 53 Merc, and I always have trouble with vapor lock on that thing. You got problems with vapor lock on those fuel pumps?
No, let me tell you something. They pump so much fuel in those motors that if they don't fire in the cylinder,
sure?
it blows the engines up like a bomb.
I'm sure it would.
That's the one you want to ride.
Yeah, we used to take like ice and try to cool down the gas pipes and stuff. It got real hot because it would vapor lock.
Tinfoil.
Yeah, but I don't think Tom doesn't need to do that on these things. My God.
Oh, I remember we did that because they would get hot.
Yes.
Yeah, tinfoil with clothesline pins.
Sure.
We did the whole deal. Hey, Tom,
Sorry, my question got you. My question derailed your line of thinking.
We were talking about
gentlemen.
horsepower and traction.
Sorry, I put an electric fuel pump in there and solved it. Go right ahead. Go ahead, Fred. Take your show back.
What's the upshot now of advertising in drag racing? You're doing advertising for Drag Racer magazine, right?
Right.
What is it that you try to do for your magazine?
Well, what I do is we try to have a magazine that for the fans that like to read about what's going on in all the different types of classes. There are so many different classes out there, like the sportsmen, the guys that kind of start up from the stalkers and go into the sportsmen.
I love that class.
Yeah, there's like 10,000 of them. And, I mean, those are the guys that eventually will want to work their way up to the top fuel funny car and dragsters. Just like me, I started driving a 70-mile-an-hour stalker, and I drove everything there was up to the top. So that's what most guys want to do.
Huh. Well, I know, I used to go to Lions Drag Strip many years ago, in 62, 61, 62, when the pro street cars were coming out, you know.
Right.
And so I always liked going to the drag strip. You know, I wanted to see the fuel cars, but I want to see Stone Woods and Cook. I want to see the gassers, and I wanted to see the street cars. I wanted to see that 55 Chevy with a blown Oldsmobile in it run down the track. You know, I go into the pits and you see all the stuff that really resonates to you as a kid. My brother and I would work on our cars in the garage, you know, drive our mom crazy and, you know, have her park her car on the curb while we put our cars in the garage. And all of that stuff to me was California drag racing, you know.
Yeah, it was, and that's what we all loved doing. And people, they'd open them gates at Lions on Saturday night. You know, it opened, I think, in 55.
Yeah.
Closed in 72. And I was
72.
fortunate enough to win the last drag race, and it turned out really weird. I ended up racing Prudhomme. So it was a Mongoose Snake finish. 1972, just like the Indy race in 78 was, you couldn't ride a
You don't wear him out with that one, do you?
Oh yeah, he's not happy about that.
Don the Snake Prudhomme, man. That's what I'm telling you.
This weekend, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a drag racing fan, you know, February 5th, which is Thursday through the 8th, Sunday, opening of the drag racing NHRA season. My good friend Tom McEwen
is on the all over the country, right? This is not just only
this is
Ontario and Southern California, but everywhere. Yeah,
they're going to go. How many races? 16, Tom?
This is the beginning of a 23 race.
Wow.
World Championship points thing, and it starts like you said. You were just out at Pomona in November when they had the World Finals out there, and they had the largest crowd they ever had. Now that the Winter Nationals are starting all over again this weekend. And it's the first of 23.
Wow!
They every year they add a race, don't they?
Well, they usually do in markets, but it's awfully hard on the racers.
That's a lot of traveling,
and that's a lot of parts. The manufacturers love it because when you sell one of these guys a part, you're just selling him a bullet for his bomb. I mean, it just depends on how many runs it makes till it blows up. And
some sport. That's a great sport.
That's really some kind of sport.
I mean, just to give people an idea, like your friend there with his 1937 Bentley or whatever he drives.
It's a 53 Mercury. Come on.
You know how they advertise on the radio that you can buy a new whatever it is, a new Corvette or Charger or Ford or whatever, and it'll run 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
These give you an idea. A top fuel dragster from a standing start runs 150 miles an hour in under a second.
Wow, unbelievable! That's
like
unbelievable.
Your Equus, isn't it?
That's like it's like my 53 Mercury, the last flathead that they made from Ford.
I don't think those F-18s that gets fired off of that jet catapult on an aircraft carrier. I don't think they run that quick in that short a distance.
I think you're right. I think you're right. That's amazing.
Yeah, I remember back in 1974, I believe, when we had the Duster, the Navy Duster, and Navy was our sponsor. They took us to Virginia, and they have a place there where they test their pilots for the aircraft carriers, but it's on ground, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they had us race this F-15 at the time. That was their hot jet. They brought in this ace pilot that shot down, and he was the pilot. And they had this jet catapult, and we were racing, we had our car. And, of course, they put the thing on kill to beat us and all that, which they did because it wasn't no contest. And it was fun to watch this jet plane go down and go straight up, and then it came across the field going Mach something. So that was fun.
This showstopper. Tom McEwen.
You got a website there, Tom, that we can check you out?
Sure. It's MongooseRacing.com.
MongooseRacing.com. Check him out. Tom McEwen is the guy. We got to come out and see him. You going to go out there?
And also take a peek at the Drag Racer magazine.
And all you fans, Fred Dreyer's going to be at Pomona out there on Saturday. Come see him for autographs.
We'll see you all out there. Thanks.
Experience a luxury boutique hotel escape in the heart of Laguna Beach, California, with the finest art galleries, shopping, dining, and nightlife just steps from your door. The heart of Laguna Beach, the edge of the sea. It's the Inn at Laguna Beach. Enjoy our comfortable rooms, blending the style of a timeless beach bungalow with the modern comforts of today. 70 newly appointed guest rooms and suites await you at the Inn at Laguna Beach. Then, relax at the rooftop bar, where you'll indulge in breathtaking views of the ocean. For dining, you'll find libations and local cuisine on the California coastline, including dining at the legendary Las Brisas, a Southern California landmark. The Inn at Laguna Beach, footsteps from room to village to sea, located in the heart of Laguna Beach. The Inn is within walking distance of all that Laguna Beach has to offer. No car required. The Inn at Laguna Beach, 211 North Coast Highway in Laguna Beach, California. Call 800-544-4479 or visit inatlagunabeach.com.
Have you ever considered adding a home security system but thought it would be too expensive? Here's the good news. There's never been a more affordable time to help protect your home, valuables, and your loved ones. You can now get a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, with the installation of a new ADT monitored system. Here's even better news. Your new system, worth $850, is free. You pay just a $99 installation charge and purchase monthly monitoring for less than $2 a day. Call Protect Your Home today at 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. Get the peace of mind that comes with owning an ADT monitored system, plus a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home. Call now, 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. 36-month monitoring contract required. General terms and conditions apply. Visit protectyourhome.com/terms.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names.
Really? Yeah.
They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
If you're struggling to find reliable senior living information for your mom or dad, then call or go online to get the free help you need during this turbulent time. Call now, 800-471-5173, 800-471-5173.
PM show, weekend edition on sports from CRN Digital Talk Radio. Final segment here. I'm Michael Horn. The great Fred Dreyer, the all-pro defensive end, the man who was acting legend and superstar, who was in Super Bowl, what was it, number 12? 14 he was in. And so I want the audience to really imagine this. You're playing the Super Bowl all the week going up to it, and the season, getting there, and you're in there, and you play this game, and you got a shot at winning, and all of a sudden you don't win. And then what is that like on the field? And you talked about letdown in the Super Bowl. People, you say you want to get off the field, you disappear from people's view. They just want to go to the winning team. There is this whole letdown that follows a loss in the Super Bowl. This Seattle loss has to be 10 times that amount because they should have won the game.
There's people on that roster that will never see another Super Bowl again. There's people who are thinking on the bus back to the hotel, back to the airport the next day, back to Seattle, that this was a shot of a lifetime that I could be a part of, that I missed, that I'll never have another opportunity to do this again. And there's other players that will say, well, like Wilson and the high-end players, they go, well, we'll get him next year, and they can rationalize it. But there's a high percentage of players on that team that are crestfallen. Just look. I played it in 1980, and it was my 12th year. The next year was my last year, 13th year. So at the end of 12 years, I finally got to be in a Super Bowl, And it was at home in front of all your friends and stuff.
At the Rose Bowl, yeah.
And there it was. And I remember being in the game and realizing what an opportunity this is. This is really great. And then I realized, look how long it took a journey to get here.
To get to the Super Bowl.
And I mentioned this to Bradshaw and a couple of the Steeler guys over the years, I said, what's it like to know there's a great chance, in the arc of your career, you could win 4 or 5 Super Bowls, let alone get into the game.
Right.
So when I saw that play and I saw how careless they were with what was presented to them, the kid that made the great play on the juggle on the ground on the sideline, no one talks about that play. All the great things that were done by Seattle in that game, no one talks about
that catch. The one you just mentioned, the catch that he made. We're not talking about that.
It won't even make the highlight reel. So nobody will talk about
the loss. How does it affect the player in the future seasons as kind of becoming like a head case that you saw it and it was there? You had Seattle on the pinnacle, the top, the peak of their game. Everybody said this team is a team of destiny. Great defense, great offense, and they have all that. But does this take them a step back when people start questioning this and think about it all season long? Do you think about it?
Here's what happens. Where it's really going to show up is this time next year.
That's what I'm thinking.
If they qualify, if they win the division and they get into the playoffs and they have a home playoff and they win it,
right,
and they start to gain momentum, and if they lose the AFC NFC championship,
one of those games, yeah,
and then they realize, we're
not invincible.
We're not in the Super Bowl this year. We don't have a chance of getting it. And it's a tough business, plus, guys get hurt in it. And, but once you come through it, the only thing is left is to regroup, get together, be determined, and hope that you have some more luck to get back in to try to win it again.
Look at the 49ers after that loss to Seattle last year. They were a shell of themselves this whole season. All right. Don't forget, Fred Dreyer's on Twitter now. You can follow him. Fred _Dryer, Dryer. Follow him on Facebook, facebook.com/The Real Fred Dryer. Email him incoming at crntalk.com. Incoming at crntalk.com. Final thoughts from Fred Dryer.
Well, my final thought is, as always, it's just so tough to leave you folks. I will be on Twitter now more often than I have ever before, and I really look forward to seeing you guys the next time. Thank you.
Around the CRN studios, we pride ourselves on being the station of every situation. You can always listen live through your local cable TV provider, as well as on our website at crntalk.com. But with TuneIn Radio, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher, you can listen to the latest editions of our programs, like The PM Show, anywhere, anytime you want. Let Fred Dryer give you his ace-in-the-hole opinion on politics. Bring Hollywood legends and their stories with you to your next party, thanks to Robert Conrad. And of course, tell those Hawaiians the real meaning of aloha with Larry Manetti. For more information on how to listen to these great shows or many others, log on to crntalk.com and create your own listening experience today.
The radio channel.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Plans to normalize U.S.-Cuban relations are under fire on Capitol Hill,
including concern over a demand the U.S. return the naval base at Guantanamo. California's Brad Sherman.
Are you prepared to say right now, this administration will not abandon, return, or fail to pay the modest fee so that we can have that naval base for the next 2 years?
I don't see that discussion taking place.
That's not what I'm asking for.
Roberta Jacobson says the U.S. has made no concessions and that plans to thaw relations with Cuba has gained widespread support from U.S. allies.
SRN's Wally Hines reporting. Also at SRNnews.com, National Transportation Safety Board investigators continue to be on the scene of a deadly crash between a New York commuter train and an SUV that killed 6 people, including the driver of the SUV. Board member Robert Sumwalt says he believes there's enough evidence to learn how the SUV came to be on the tracks.
The event recorders will help us. Any video evidence we may have. I understand that there's a gentleman who was directly behind the SUV when the accident occurred. So we believe, I'm confident that we will be able to put together a good timeline.
A South Carolina court has ruled that the National Episcopal Church has no claim on the property of the breakaway Diocese of South Carolina or its parish churches. Bishop Mark Lawrence, Bishop of the Episcopal Diocese of South Carolina, says the breakaway diocese is still Anglican, but no longer part of the National Episcopal Church.
We are in communion with the vast majority of Anglicans around the world.
The conservative diocese in eastern South Carolina left the National Church in 2012 amid differences over theological issues, among them the authority of Scripture and the ordination of homosexuals. On Wall Street, that up by 6 points. This is SRN News.
This is Karen Kingsbury. You know me as a novelist, but my family knows me as Mom. Now, my heart for family drives me. It shows up in my books, and it makes me excited to tell you about e-meals. Keeping the family healthy and together is at the heart of all we do. E-meals makes it easy to get everyone around the table with healthy, delicious meals planned specifically for you. Each week, family-friendly recipes and a detailed shopping list are delivered to your inbox and synced with an e-meals mobile app. Now, the consistency of e-meals helps you stay organized, manage your budget, and even stay on track with your health and weight goals. Most importantly, it creates a strong family connection. It pretty much covers every one of your New Year's goals. Select from over 50 e-meals plan options based on your family's eating style, including paleo, clean eating, or the new budget-friendly meal plan. Even better, you can switch between meal plans as often as you like. Head to emeals.com to sign up for their free 2-week trial. E-meals, the practical tool that takes you home. That's emeals.com.
The Chinese manufacturer of a drone that a hobbyist crashed at the White House says it is taking steps to ensure that cannot happen again.
DJI Technology, based in the southern Chinese city of Shenzhen, says it'll send a software update for its drone's navigation systems this week, which will block them from flying over Washington, D.C. The crash of the 2-foot-long Phantom quadcopter prompted questions about whether the White House and President Obama were adequately protected against a potential threat. Company spokesman Michael Perry says software in DJI drones already prevents them from flying in no-fly zones around about 700 airports worldwide. Jeremy House, SRN News.
President Obama, Tiger Woods, and others in the golf world are paying tribute to Charlie Sifford, who broke professional golf's color barrier in 1961. Sifford, who was 92, died yesterday. Golf legend Jack Nicklaus was among those who recommended Sifford for the Presidential Medal of Freedom. This is SRN News. It is that dreaded time of year, tax time, and an ominous question hangs over every taxpayer's head. Will I be paying more taxes this year? To this, the CEO of the financial group Crown, Chuck Bentley, says unfortunately, the answer is yes.
You're going to be paying more because you actually are required to have health insurance. If you've chosen not to have health insurance, then you'll be paying more as a result of the penalty unless you're exempt. But overall, taxpayers, according to the Congressional Budget Office, will be paying about $50,000 more in taxes over the next 10 years because of those subsidies for people who are enrolling under the Affordable Care Act.
He says the best way to avoid health care penalties is to have insurance either through your employer or through a health care co-op that some families are opting for to avoid the penalty. Tomorrow, will the IRS be around to help? More details at srnnews.com. I'm Keith Peters in Washington.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a non-profit nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now. 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Hello, everybody. Paul Starbeckel-Horn here to tell you a bit about what's coming up on the next What's Cooking Show.
Larry Lipson, our affordable wine expert, will be here to talk about great value wines under $20. Don't miss out on that. And then we're going to talk health. Pat Rulo, the author of the book Speak Up and Stay Alive, is going to give us tips on how to protect ourselves against germs out in public and at hospitals. And coming up Thursday morning at 8 a.m., oh, don't miss out. KISS frontman Gene Simmons is going to be here talking about his new book and his restaurant. Don't miss it on What's Cooking from CRN.
I was thinking pretty deeply in the light of the horror, unprecedented horror of recent days, when beheadings are not sufficient